Nigerian police fired tear gas to break up several hundred protesters in the northern city of Kano and the capital Abuja. It's the first of a 10-day planned national protest over the high cost of living. Officials have warned people not to copy recent violent demonstrations in Kenya, where the government was forced to abandon new taxes. Nigeria has been struggling with soaring inflation and a sharply devalued naira after government ended a costly fuel subsidy and liberalized the currency a year ago.
We are tired of being hungry. We cannot even feed our children. One tuber of yam is 5,000. We cannot buy tomato and pepper. Pepper is 1,000. The poor cannot survive. Please, we need you to change the government.
Meanwhile, Amnesty International is calling on the Nigerian government to act with restraint during nationwide protests. Joining us is Amnesty International's Nigeria Director, Sanusi. Thank you so much, Isa, for joining us on Newsfeed PM. We just saw those visuals of some of those protests going on in Nigeria right now. You have sent out a call to say that restraint needs to be exercised. Would you say that authorities in Nigeria are heeding that call?
Yes, to a very good extent, that has been a dramatic change on the attitudes of the Nigerian police and security agencies towards peaceful protest. We have recorded a few cases of looting and attacks on government property carried out by thugs alleged to be sponsored in Kano especially. But apart from that, the protest has been peaceful in many places, even though tension is high. But the protest is largely peaceful, and except in incidents where a journalist was arrested and tear gas was fired at peaceful protesters in Abuja, the thing has remained calm and in control.
Yeah, and while they may remain peaceful for now, Isa, would you say that just having a journalist arrested as well is quite problematic when it comes to freedom of expression, but also the job and the role that journalists have, particularly when times are like this in a country? This then leads to insinuation of kind of censoring of those kinds of voices as well. And then the use of tear gas to disperse these protests as well. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, this incident, especially the arrest of the journalist in Abuja and arrest of another activist in the southern part of Nigeria in Cross River State, and the tear gas fired at protesters are unacceptable, and they are really regrettable things. And we hope that the Nigerian authorities will investigate these incidents and make sure that those behind them are brought to justice. Nigerian authorities have to change their attitude towards peaceful protests. People have the right to protest. And based on our experience and the information we have been getting across Nigeria, even in places where some incidents of violence or looting were recorded, it is mostly carried out by infiltrators and sponsored thugs whose motive is largely to create the impression that peaceful protest is impossible in Nigeria.
You know, when we mentioned arrests as well, the assumption would be then it would be those who aren't having pure intentions in the protest, those who are looting, those who are attacking government buildings, as you're mentioning. One wouldn't think that it would be a journalist or an activist for that matter. Do you perhaps know the status of the journalist and the activist, if they've been released?
Well, the journalist, Jonathan, in Cross River State is still detained by the police. And the journalist in Abuja has been released. He is the chairman of the local Abuja, the capital city journalist society. He has been released. But he was manhandled, and his arrest is unfortunate because he was carrying camera and he is clearly marked as a journalist at that place. So all these incidents bring to us the point that we have been making, that the Nigerian authorities have to understand that the society or the Nigerians or the Nigerian youths have the right to peaceful protest. And they have to investigate all these incidents and make sure that those suspected of responsibility are brought to justice. We believe that there was attempt before the protest to stigmatize protests. Many attempts were made, including very harmful rhetorics about protests. But so far, we can say that all that has not achieved the aim because the protest is largely peaceful. And we continue to implore all the protesters to be peaceful, organized, and deliver their message and go back to their activities. And we believe that the agencies of security in Nigeria have a responsibility to make sure that they fish out all those suspected of responsibility of violence or looting or stealing or destruction. They have to bring them to justice. We believe that there is no way the society will be better without criticism, without tolerating dissenting opinions.
You know, Mr. Sanusi, as you're speaking, we've got visuals on the screen right now which show anything but peaceful. You know, you can see the military there, you can see the protesters being dispersed, lots of tear gas as well being fired off. How would you say the Nigerian authorities are dealing with this matter in terms of the actual issue itself of this rising cost of living and the inflation?
Well, since the discussions about the protest started like 3 to 4 weeks ago, all Nigerians have been expecting the government to come out with a concrete plan. Even though, to be fair, the government has announced some concessions, it has announced some steps to address the issue of the economic difficulty. But it appears that the people are not satisfied. The people want to see the government doing something concrete instead of making statements that are abstract. They want to see the reality. People are suffering. The situation we are facing right now in Nigeria economically is unprecedented. We have never seen anything like this in our lifetime. And we believe that the government has a responsibility to show commitment and come out and say, this is what we are going to do to make life easier. And it should not stop just at announcement, just mere abstract announcement. It has to be concrete. People have to see that food is cheaper and tariffs like electricity issues have been addressed and other issues. This is what we are expecting from the Nigerian government, and we still have hope that they will see reason and address the concerns of Nigerians, because right now there is hunger. Millions of people are on the brink of starvation in Nigeria, and it's a reality. And everyone who is going around into the interior and into the rural areas, urban areas, one can see poverty, deep poverty clearly. And it is the responsibilities of the authorities to make sure that they change their current stand economically so that people can see clearly that they are committed to making life easier for all Nigerians.
Yeah, with an inflation rate on food hitting 36%, people are truly suffering in Nigeria right now. Thank you so much for your time this afternoon. That's Isa Sanusi, who is at Amnesty International in Nigeria as a director.